The man has not been home for 2.5 years. Just because of a -40-degree blizzard. Freeze the car in the extreme cold. Eradicate snow and ice with an RV. For Tony, who travels the world. In his 40s, he resigned naked. Spent all my savings on this bakery trailer. After driving over the hills. Reached the depths of Freljord. It's white on both sides of the road. The temperature is also dropping rapidly. It didn't take long to reach the middle of nowhere. The lifeless snow infrastructure was frozen. Tony also stopped the RV. The ice here is as thick as a hand. The storm didn't stop for a moment. For safety, Tony hides behind the RV. Only shelter from the wind, can barely breathe freely. After observing for a while, he returned to the RV. This space has been transformed and is already very luxurious. Sofa tables and chairs, 3 bedrooms and 1 living room, fully functional. Considering the temperature outside as low as -40 degrees. The first thing Tony did in the car. Just turn on the heating device. And boil hot water. He found that the ice and cold had paralyzed the towers. Tony built his own network system next to the RV. Just a few tens of seconds. Let Tony air out his cold nose. Fortunately, a lot of water is stored before the car. The camping gear is also enough to support him to survive for a long time. After soaking the noodles in hot water, men are finally able to travel long distances. Eat a hot meal. But the low temperature has exceeded his imagination. Even the door panels in the car are frozen. The front windshield has a direct field of view to 0. With Tony, the bedroom has already been covered with thick thermal insulation cotton. Wrapped down sleeping bags. To ensure that he can have a warm, comfortable space. It can get the room temperature up to 20 degrees. Spacious space, even for 2 people lying down. No problem. There are lights ready at night. But if you need to go out, Tony have to wear a full set of weather and snow protection. After all, Tony doesn't want to become an ice sculpture here yet. The moment Tony opened the door, he feel the storm. He didn't expect just a few minutes. The surface of the car has formed a thick layer of ice. The organs in front of him made Tony unbelievable. Snow and ice have almost blanketed the entire RV. It seems that it is difficult to act today. And nearby towers and facilities were completely frozen. Then come to the cockpit for inspection. Fortunately, the vehicle can continue to run. Frozen Tony quickly returned to the RV. Drenched, cold him. He feel as incredible as a dream. However, it was also his entire life. An experience he haven't had in over 40 years. He turned on the lights in the car. It's already evening. Ready to come to the kitchen to eat on the hour. So add white oil to the pan. Grilled a few slices of steak. Cold environment. He need to eat to provide heat. Plenty of food. To ensure their survival in extreme environments. For steak patties. 2 delicious burgers are the source of calories tonight. After all, the cold night environment. More difficult to deal with than during the day. After eating and drinking. For safety, Tony decides to go out and check. At this moment, snow and ice are drifting at over 30 yards an hour. The entire front of the car is completely covered in ice and snow. The thick layer of ice will not move even if it is beaten. The trailer is welded to the snow. Has become a firmly fixed ice sculpture. He believed no one wants to encounter such a blizzard. Even Tony, who has been camping for over 30 years, he can only shout amazement about this. Fortunately, the warmth of the lights in the car gives men a lot of security, so he quickly rolled back into the car. With the shelter of an RV, cold temperatures and storms are not worth mentioning. After eating some simple food, Tony decided to hide in a warm bed early. Turn on the warm light. Super thick thermal insulation cotton and down sleeping bag, allowing Tony to have a small, comfortable space. The temperature difference with the outside reaches more than 60 degrees. This is also the most comfortable moment of the RV journey. He can't feel the cold outside the car at all. Then he went to bed early. the next morning, due to its excellent thermal insulation and heating. Let the man wake up hot. So he got up early. But it wasn't dawn yet. It's still dark outside the window. To stay awake, Tony boils hot water, made a pot of coffee, sipping hot coffee in a comfortable sofa chair. By this time the sky had begun to light up, but the windows were already covered by a thick layer of ice. Can't see anything at all. Then he lifted the tall curtain and went to the cab. It's also completely frozen here. Even the glass inside has a thick layer of ice. In order for the RV to continue running, Tony also had to put on a heavy thermal suit and go out. Get out of the car. The ice on the ground has been attached to the hull of the car. The thick ice ballast is already tens of centimeters thick. The whole car seems to be wrapped in frosted glass, like a work of art from nature. The cockpit is no longer accessible, so Tony knocks the ice off the surface. Flip into the cockpit through the inside of the RV. He tried to start the engine. However, the RV has already sounded the alarm. It seems that driving a vehicle has become very difficult. But as a car mechanic, quickly got the engine running. Heat generated. It can relieve the condition of the RV in low temperature very well. Then remove the shovel from the car. Paired together, beat down the thick ice ballast ice beads. After a morning of rectification, the vehicle has been restored a lot. But the man himself is already red from the cold, drenched. So Tony immediately made honey waffles, replenished the lost calories. And the sun was out. Makes the de-icing of RVs a lot easier. Continue after the shovel hits the ice cubes. The engine has been running for a long time. Then he went back to the cab. Start trying to move forward. Fortunately, everything is normal, except for some slippage. RV is fine. Considering this extremely cold place, it is very dangerous. And Tony was driving out in his RV. Follow the tire tracks you came in. Very safe and stable. While driving, ice cubes also melted and fell from the roof of the car. It didn't take long to leave the snow line. The familiar mud forest is in front of you again. This thrilling and amazing snow camping trip. It also made him unforgettable.